Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are just about done with the two noble kinsmen we've got today and tomorrow, and then we're done with the two noble kinsmen. And we get to hear from Theseus today, wrapping up Act 5, Scene 4. Tomorrow's just the epilogue, and then we'll do like a recap and thoughts on the whole thing. But anyway, so Palamon and Arcite fought. Arcite won. He was going off to get married to Emilia. Palamon was supposed to be beheaded like instantly along with the 3 knights that he brought with him. But right before the axe was about to fall, and also the jailer's daughter is getting married to the wooer who she thinks is Palamon. Right before the axe was supposed to fall, a messenger came in and was like, no, wait. And then Theseus came in and yesterday told us the story of how while he was riding away, something spooked Arcite's horse, who ended up like rearing all the way up and over backwards and landed on Arcite and crushed him. And with his dying breath, Arcite is brought in, and with his dying breath, he says to Palamon, take Emilia, she's yours. And then he dies. And Palamon is very sad about this, and Emilia is very sad about this, and she's like, oh my goodness, this is a lot. And Theseus is like, okay, let's take him away and give him a proper burial, a proper funeral, all of that sort of thing. And Palamon's like, this is so sad that in order to get the love that I wanted, I had to lose the love that I had. Because remember, at the very beginning of the play, Palamon and Arcite were like the best of friends and the closest of cousins. And even when it came time for them to kill each other, they didn't really want to. And they hugged each other and forgave each other first. So Palamon is very sad now to have lost his cousin Arcite. But Theseus has now said, okay, like this is fine for you to marry Emilia. So Palamon gets to live even though his cousin died, and he gets Emilia even though he lost her and his cousin died. So he's like, this is just a really sad situation. And Theseus says, never fortune did play a subtler game. The conquered triumphs, the victor has the loss. Yet in the passage, the gods have been most equal. Palamon, your kinsman hath confessed the right of the lady did lie in you, for you first saw her, and even then proclaimed your fancy. He restored her as your stolen jewel, and desired your spirit to send him hence forgiven. The gods, my justice, take from my hand, and they themselves become the executioners. Lead your lady off, and call your lovers from the stage of death, whom I adopt my friends. A day or two, let us look sadly, and give grace unto the funeral of Arcite, in whose end the visages of bridegrooms will put on and smile with Palamon, for whom an hour, but 1 hour since, I was as dearly sorry as glad of Arcite, and am now as glad as for him sorry. Oh, you heavenly charmers, what things you make of us! For what we lack, we laugh. For what we have, are sorry still, our children in some kind. Let us be thankful for that which is, and with you leave dispute that are above our question. Let's go off and bear us like the time. So he's sort of just recounting what's going on here. He's like, this is really kind of funny and backwards that the person who won the battle lost his life, and the one who lost the battle is winning. But he says, Palamon, this actually does kind of make sense. He's like, the gods granted you both what you wanted, but played the ultimate, because remember, Arcite had prayed to the god of war and Palamon had prayed to the goddess of love. So Arcite won the war and Palamon won the love. But the gods get to execute the final justice in executing Arcite themselves so that Theseus doesn't have to. And now technically nobody really died in Emilia's name. So I guess that's kind of good. And apparently at the end, Arcite did say, you saw her first and you claimed her first, so she should be yours. So if there is a right way for this to end, I guess it's with Palamon marrying Emilia. But basically, this speech is Theseus saying, this is all this is all weird. Like, we were happy for him an hour ago and sad for you, and now we're sad for him and happy for you. And he's like, we just, some things that the gods want, we can't understand. So we just have to make do with what we've got and be satisfied with our lives as they are. So let's go and have a funeral for Arcite, and then we'll get Palamon married. And that's basically the end of the play. I mean, we just have the epilogue to go tomorrow. So it's an interesting story, and just sort of wondering who thought Palamon was going to come out on top, who thought Arcite was going to die by getting crushed by a horse, all of that sort of thing. It's just, it's hard to say whether or not it's a happy ending, because Palamon gets to marry Emilia, but he lost Arcite, and Arcite is dead. So it's, yeah, I guess it's one of those ones where you can think whatever you want of it by the time you get to this part in the play. And that's sort of what the epilogue is going to say to us tomorrow. So come on back for that tomorrow. We'll do the epilogue. So I'll see you then for that. Mwah.